Hi, I'm Ziba from Kindergarten Cafe, and today let's talk about blending phonemes. Phonemes are the individual sounds in our language. And when children are learning to read and write, they have to be able to break apart those individual sounds and then blend them together to make a word. The progression of blending phonemes starts with beginning sounds. Can they hear individual beginning sounds? After that, you want to see if a child can hear individual ending sounds. For example, you could ask a child, what is the last sound you hear in the word donut? Or what is the last sound in the word table? And you want students to be able to just hear the sound. So they would say to you, t or ooh. They would not yet say t or L, or in this case for table, a silent E. They would not say that yet. They would just say the sound ooh. After they can hear the beginning and isolate the beginning, and they can hear and isolate the ending sound, and hear and isolate the middle sound, then you are ready to start attaching letters to those sounds. And the best way to do that is with Elkonin boxes or some kind of grid where they see the three sound boxes, three sound spaces, a space for the beginning sound, the middle sound, and the ending sound. And when you're first introducing Elkonin boxes and working with blending phonemes, you want to again have them work on focusing on just hearing the sounds. You can use a tactile object like a cube or a tile and have them push the cube into the box for each sound as they are saying it. So in this example, cat, they would push one for k, push one for a, and push one for t. Then they could blend it all together, k, a, t, cat. This is before you've even introduced letters. But after they hear the sounds and get good at breaking apart and blending the sounds, you can start adding in letters for them. K, a, t, and blend together. So any kind of visual like this where you could have the three blocks is great. And anytime you can add a tactile for them is another great way to help students with learning to blend phonemes. Other opportunities to practice blending phonemes once they're at this space where they're ready to be working with the beginning, middle, and ending sounds of consonant, vowel, consonant words and short vowel sounds. You can work with them on spelling it with letter tiles. So I like the say it, make it, write it, where they say the word that they're seeing. So in this case, they say cat. Then they make it with the letter tiles, and then they write it with a whiteboard marker or pencil or whatever. I also love slide it, read it, because this is really encouraging them to tap out the individual sounds, k, a, t, and then slide underneath and blend it together. Cat. Kids may have trouble jumping right from k, at, cat. So what you can do is you can help them blend the first two letters together, and that will be a better chunk for them to blend together. So k, a becomes ka, and then all they have to do is add the t, cat, and it sort of naturally blends itself. So if they are struggling, focus on those first two letters to blend, and then add in that last one. I like to do practice warm-ups like this every day in my small groups in reading or whole group, just so that they have practice every day, segmenting each beginning sound, each of the beginning, middle, and ending sounds, and then blending them together. I have lots of resources if that is something you're interested in that you can use with your whole class that involved technology. So you can present it on your screen and it goes through the different sounds and they're working their way through segmenting the sounds and isolating the sounds and blending the sounds. And you can also use it on Seesaw so they can do it individually. But this is another fun way to just keep up the practice with blending phonemes. And I definitely want to recommend adding in nonsense words. Many children that are learning to read start memorizing words, not on purpose. It just sort of happens for some of them where they quickly can look at a word and see it's cat, and then they always know that that word is cat. Well, then they're not really learning how to apply the lessons that you're teaching them on breaking apart the sounds and blending them together, because they just see the word on its own as a chunk, as a whole word. And so when they get to a word they don't know, which usually for some students, this might not happen until second, third grade, where they're getting to words they really don't know. They sort of max out on the words they're memorizing. They don't know how to sound out words. And so to help our students before they get to that point, we want to add in nonsense words. And it's a great indicator for you as a teacher to see, are they learning the rules that I'm teaching them about breaking apart the sounds and blending them together? Can they sound out the 3 individual sounds and blend them together, even though it does not make a real word? Because your brain is always trying to make it want to be a real word. And so it really focuses in on the skill of, can they blend, can they segment and blend all 3 sounds? So highly recommend including nonsense word practice into your daily small group or whole group phoneme practice. And of course, I have lots of other really bonus ways, fun ways to just keep the practice going. And I think that the more that children can have practice reading these CVC words, you can start adding in some blends or some glued sounds or digraphs as they get more successful with these words. I have seen really great progress with my students using decodable readers. And in another video, another blog post, I talk about decodable readers, so you should definitely check that out. I have a whole bundle on Teachers Pay Teachers for decodable readers. But to see them be able to sound out each sound in the word and blend them together and be really successful in their reading is really powerful. They're not guessing at the words. They're not making words up. They are truly looking at the letters in front of them and figuring out how the letters should sound. That's why I do all of this practice with blending phonemes, and it's why I use decodable readers in my classroom. So if you have questions about blending phonemes or want to see more examples of activities, let me know below.